Arise, don't give up, be strong. Rise up in the face of difficulties. The one who watches over you does not sleep. You are not alone. There is a higher power. It is God who is constantly taking care of you, vigilant and attentive, even when you feel weak or helpless. Have you ever felt this way, as if the whole world were collapsing on your shoulders, and you are alone, right in the middle of the rubble? There are nights when the silence screams, and the sound of the rain outside seems only to mock the storm raging inside you. It's a pain that tightens your chest, a lump in your throat that prevents even the tears from coming out. You look at the ceiling, at the walls, at your own reflection in the mirror, and the only question that echoes in your mind is, how much longer, my God? How much longer? It is a feeling of abandonment, a loneliness so deep that it seems that not even God can hear your cry. You remember a time when faith was a burning fire, an unshakable certainty. But the blows of life, the losses, the disappointments, they were like icy waves, extinguishing each ember one by one. And now, all that remains is the cold smoke of doubt and the ash of disillusionment. You wonder where he was when your heart was broken, when your dreams were stolen, when sickness arrived without warning, or when the door of opportunity slammed shut in your face with brutal force. It seems unfair. You did everything right, or at least you tried. You prayed, you believed, you helped who you could. So why has your life turned into this labyrinth of pain with no apparent way out? Hope has become a distant word, an echo of a song whose melody you can no longer remember. The spiritual void consumes you, and each new day seems just a repetition of the last. A burden too heavy to carry, a battle you no longer have the strength to fight. If you are feeling this way, if every word I say seems to be a mirror of your soul, I want you to stop. Stop for a moment. Take a deep breath. I'm not here by chance, and you are not hearing this message by accident. There is a greater purpose, even in the midst of this chaos you call life. Because at the exact moment your voice fails, at the point where you believe you have been forgotten, that is when a divine whisper breaks through the noise of the universe to find you. This message is not mine. It is a message sent directly from the heart of God to yours. He saw every tear you shed in silence. He felt every pang of pain in your chest. He was by your side in every moment of despair, even when you thought he had turned his back on you. And what he asked me to tell you today, with all the certainty and all the love that the universe can contain, is something simple but powerful. He asked me to remind you of an ancient promise, a truth that the storms of life have tried to drown, but that can never be destroyed. He sent me to tell you that all of this will pass. Everything will pass. Perhaps upon hearing this, a part of you feels skeptical. Maybe your pain is so old, so deep, that hope seems like an offense, a lie you've told yourself 1,000 times. I understand. Believe me, I understand. Your mind, trained by battles and scars, begins to list all the reasons why this cannot be true. You don't know my struggle. You don't know the extent of my loss. I've tried everything and nothing has changed. This is the voice of fear, the voice of uncertainty that has kept you chained for so long. Anna, there in the quiet of her room, felt the same thing. But that whisper, it was not a voice of empty optimism. It was different. It was like an invisible hand that touched her shoulder in the middle of the darkness. It didn't turn on all the lights, it didn't solve all the problems, but it brought an inexplicable calm, a peace she hadn't felt in years. It was the answer to her deepest pain, spiritual loneliness. In that instant, she was no longer completely alone. This was the first promise of transformation. A subtle but urgent desire began to sprout in her chest, the desire for a sign. If this voice was real, If God was really speaking to her, she needed something concrete. The fear of the future, of the next bill to pay, of the next diagnosis, of the next grey day. All of that was still there. But now, there was a new question. My God, if it is you, show me the way. Give me a clue, however small. She no longer asked for the end of the storm, but for a direction in which to walk under it. And then, like a flash of memory, the image of her grandmother appeared in her mind. A simple woman, with hands wrinkled by time and a smile that seemed to carry all the sun in the world. She was not a theologian or a preacher, but her faith was the most real and powerful thing Anna had ever known. Her grandmother was the personification of divine authority on earth for her, and Anna remembered her words, spoken on a random afternoon while they were having coffee with cornmeal cake. My daughter, do not expect God to shout when the world is already too noisy. He plants secrets in the quietest places. Look for him in the details, in the memories, in the things that time cannot erase. This memory was the trigger. The curiosity about the secrets of God overcame the apathy of pain. Moved by this impulse, Anna got up. For the first time in months, she did not get up out of obligation, but for a mission. She began to search. She didn't know for what, but her heart told her she would recognize it when she found it. She opened old, dusty boxes, a cemetery of dreams and memories. Each object was a blow, a photo of a lost love, bringing guilt and regret, a baby shoe that was never used, loss in its cruelest form, a diploma that promised a bright future, now just a worthless piece of paper in the face of unemployment. Each piece was a testament to her failures, to her pain, proof that God had in fact abandoned her. The initial hope began to waver, and the darkness threatened to return with even greater force. If Anna's search, if this feeling of looking for a sign in the midst of pain resonates with you, if you feel that this message is touching something deep in your soul, I ask you to take a short break. Like this video so we know we are on the right track. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the continuation of this and other journeys of faith. And most importantly, turn on the notification bell, because the next step in Anna's journey could be the answer you yourself are waiting for. Be part of this community of faith. When all seemed lost, when the last ember of hope was about to be extinguished, her fingers touched something familiar, her grandmother's diary. It was not a book of secrets, but a simple record of her days, her thoughts, and above all, her conversations with God. Anna hesitated. Invading that sanctuary seemed wrong, but the same impulse that made her get up now forced her to open that small book. The yellowed pages smelled of time and faith. Her grandmother's elegant handwriting danced across the lines, telling of harvests, of the birth of grandchildren, of hardships and small joys. It was a testimony of an ordinary life, but lived from an extraordinary perspective. Anna flipped through aimlessly until a specific page caught her attention. There was a mark, a small dried flower pressed between the pages. And next to it, a note with the date of one of the most difficult periods of her grandmother's life, a time Anna knew from family stories. And what was written there was not a plea of pain, but a declaration of faith that crossed time to embrace her granddaughter. The message said, "Today the storm was strong, Lord. The wind blew and the rain almost brought the house down. But I did not look at the strength of the wind. I looked at the firmness of the roots of that old fig tree in the backyard. The more the wind whipped it, the more it seemed to cling to the earth. And I understood your message. Storms do not come to tear us from our place, but to deepen our roots. Strength is not in avoiding the fight, but in knowing where we are planted. And I, Lord, am planted in you." Those words were the thunder Anna was waiting for. The sign, not a mystical sign, but a profound truth, coming from someone she trusted completely. God had not promised a sky that was always blue, but he had promised strong roots. Anna's pain was not a punishment. It was an invitation to go deeper. The emptiness she felt was not the absence of God, but a space that could only be filled by deeper roots of faith and purpose. In that moment, something changed. Anna's perspective was rewritten. She looked again at the objects scattered on the floor. The photo of the lost love was no longer about the end, but about the capacity to love that still existed in her. The baby shoe was not about loss, but about the maternal love she could direct to so many others around her. The diploma was not about failure, but about the knowledge she possessed and that she could use in new ways. She was not being destroyed, she was being prepared. Every pain, every loss, every disappointment was forcing her roots to go deeper, to search for the source of living water that lies beneath the dry, cracked soil of the surface. And then she understood. In that moment, in the silence of her room, amidst the wreckage of her memories, Anna finally understood the great mystery of faith. Her prayer was not ignored. Her cry was not lost in the void. God was not silent. He was answering all along. His answer was not the immediate removal of pain, but the invitation to depth. And your prayer has not been ignored either. This pain you carry, this storm that seems endless, this weight that crushes you, it is not your end. It is the deepening of your roots. For you who have felt alone, understand, the strongest roots grow in the darkness, invisible to the eyes, but firmly embraced by the earth. You are not abandoned. You are being sustained in a way that the surface cannot see. For you who have felt lost without purpose, know that your emptiness was not the absence of God, but a call to grow inward, to find the source that only springs from the deepest layers of your being. The promise that everything will pass is not a magic formula that erases the past. It means that the function of pain will be transformed. What today is your greatest wound, tomorrow will be the source of your most powerful testimony. What today causes you tears, tomorrow will be the authority with which you will comfort other wounded hearts. God does not waste suffering. He refines it, transforms it into wisdom, into resilience, into empathy. He transforms the site of your greatest battle into the garden of your greatest victory. The storm outside, as well as the storm inside, finally subsided. The sky, washed by the rain, seemed clearer, brighter. Anna took a deep breath of that new air, and the breath that filled her lungs was not just oxygen, it was hope. It was the certainty that the dawn had arrived. She did not have all the answers for the future. She did not know how all the problems would be solved, but that no longer mattered. She had found something much more valuable, the peace of knowing in whom she was planted. And it is this peace that I want to declare over your life now. Receive it. Wherever you are, no matter the size of your struggle, receive the peace that surpasses all understanding. Receive the strength that comes not from your muscles, but from the depth of your faith. The weeping may indeed have lasted for the night, but joy is breaking forth with the morning. God is, at this very moment, exchanging your garments of mourning for garments of praise, your depressed spirit for a song of gratitude. The storm has fulfilled its purpose. The whisper of God has become your certainty. Now it is time to live the purpose of your dawn. Get up just like Anna. Go to your window, real or imaginary, and take a deep breath of the air of your new beginning. The old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. If this message has touched your heart and brought a breath of hope to your soul, help us to bring this light to more people. Leave your like so that this seed of faith can reach more lives. Subscribe to our channel and, most importantly, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any word of strengthening. And in the comments, write the city from where you are watching us. We want to create a great chain of faith and know how far this message has reached. Visit our channel to find more videos that speak to the heart. May the peace of God find you and keep you. Until next time.